how do you know when you've hit that bar? I
Hmm.
mean, it seems like it's kind of a taste thing, but like in your own work, how do you know whether you should wait that extra week and, do the extra stuff to go the extra mile maybe, or whether it's actually hit the bar and you're ready to move on to the next thing?
I will say it is one of the hardest parts of the job where, you're just like, oof, am I gonna, be a stick in the mud on this and ask for another iteration or not? And is it worth it? I think the ways to make that easier, but definitely not easy, is again, going back to the users. Like, what do they think? How well is this solving their problem? Is it actually a net positive, or is this not really actually moving the needle, or is it maybe even having detrimental costs to it? I think the other piece is that there is, a number of things that you should think about, like almost like a checklist of things that you look for in product quality. Like a high quality product is highly functional, right? First and foremost, it has to have utility, it has to serve a purpose and solve a problem for the user. Secondly, it has to be usable, right? You can imagine a chair like solves a problem, you can sit in it, but it's like extremely uncomfortable. Well, that's not going to work out for you for very long. So usability is that second most important thing. And then third is craft and beauty. Obviously, craft and beauty is not like, a nice to have. It's absolutely material to increasing the utility and usability of a product and also making it far more enjoyable. But there's no reason, crafting something nicely if like you can't actually sit in it, for example. And so if you use this kind of as a checklist, as I look at this product, it's like, well, it's first and foremost solving a problem. If it's not, then you definitely should not let it go forward, because what's the point? You're just adding cost to your maintenance later.
Yeah.
And then, the next pieces come along.
And it seems like, whether you value and to what level craft and beauty, like it's there, whether you make the choice to invest in it or not, just sometimes it's
Mm.
not good.
Yeah, I honestly, I think a big, big, big part of design, when we're talking about design, is it's just intentionality, right? It's just like, are you being thoughtful about how this thing is going to be perceived or not? And if there's infinite options, why not choose the one that is most appealing and most easy to use, and just like sparks a little joy? We create software for people to run their businesses. And, I think a lot of enterprise software out there doesn't put that first and foremost, which is fascinating given that those are human beings that work at those companies, right? And like, why not bring, the joy to the work, for anybody? We do think about craft and beauty as definitely not a nice to have. It's a must have. And, thinking about those details, making sure that there is no defects that somebody might start to question whether or not the product is working overall, and, bringing a little bit more joy to the utility.
Yeah. Or founders maybe that don't consider themselves to have an eye for design or a design background or something like, how can they know what great design looks like?
Yeah. I think part of it is going back to that kind of like checklist and thinking like, no,